All right, KFC Radio featuring a very important special guest for John and I. Because we realize you might be like our favorite actor. Jimmi Simpson is here.
Oh, stop.
I think you might
crazy.
be.
When you run down your resume, man, it's like, oh shit, I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I mean, it's an impressive lineup.
I can't remember something you've done that I didn't like.
That's so kind.
It's not. I'm not being kind.
I'm
do
blushing
that with
on
me,
this
Jimmy.
podcast. I wish people could see.
Just to mention like a few for the people who may not put it all together. Jimmy's been in Always Sunny, Westworld, House of Cards. White House Down is one of his personal favorites, so we'll throw that in there. Psych, also a personal favorite of his.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Psych, I actually didn't. I don't know if it was I don't think it was my first viewing, but it didn't catch on. I remember I was watching Psych. And then I was like, "Oh shit, that's McPoyle." And I thought Psych was first, right?
No, McPoyle was first.
Oh, McPoyle was first.
Yeah.
I don't think anything was before Always Sunny at this point. That shit has been going on for too long. And then one of the best recent episodes of Black Mirror.
Oh, God,
I mean, you're doing it, man. You're doing it real big right now.
I'm trying. I'm trying to do it.
Is it weird, like because so many people probably do love Always Sunny and do think of you as a McPoyle, which, I mean, how'd you describe it? A milk drinking freak?
I mean, you wear robes and drink milk, but you are. Does it get funny for you where you're like, that's, people think of you as this weird character, but you prefer the theater. You're classically trained, because we've had Glenn in here a couple times, and he's in a similar boat. Where
Juilliard trained.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does that strike you as odd, or do you wish it was another way around, or do you like that?
Do I like that I'm considered to be a bit weird?
Yeah.
I certainly don't have a problem with it, and I love when I'm proud of the work I do.
Yeah.
You fucking should be.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
And I throw my whole back into making Liam McPoyle one of the most disturbing and yet hilarious and yet human characters you can possibly see. So I'm glad it lands.
As you could be when you're like showering and potentially having sex with your brother.
As subhuman is what it is.
It's chud-like.
But I don't know why I think there's always a little bit of a stigma or whatever you want, reputation, something surrounding comedy versus drama, why is it, considered maybe not as revered if you're capturing weirdness and creepiness versus some like dramatic character. You know what I mean? To me, it's all acting, and you're crushing both of them. So why is it not? Why is there maybe just a different reputation when it's a silly character versus a dramatic one?
That sounds like two sides fighting when they don't need to fight.
Right.
It's like
It can
LA
all
and
be
New
good.
York hating each other. I'm like, just everybody, you guys are different.
Yeah,
it's fine.
right.
New York's LA, but drunk.
and pale and kind of ugly. You're the pretty, like, sober version of us. But
and LA is New York, but with just really full fabricated lips applied by a doctor. But it's, I think the craft of comedy is exceedingly difficult. And the thing with comedy is it doesn't look as difficult as it is.
Right. Because it's fun and it's laughing.
And you just made me laugh. Things make me laugh.
Right.
Things don't also always make me look at myself and introspect and have a moment. But the craft of comedy is just as hard as drama. And so, the slow play of my career, it wasn't necessarily planned, but I'm really comfortable with the slow play.
Yeah.
And so with a slow play and acceptance of that comes lowered expectations. And lowered expectations make a life
game right
so
here.
nice, right?
Keep the bar on the floor, man.
On the floor. Sometimes dig a hole in the floor and let it get into the dirt. So, the fact that people were letting me do weird shit for them was a blessing. It was never like, yeah, but when are people going to let me be the romantic lead?
Right.
Because I wasn't anything in my own mind. I was just like, well, it's a craft. It's the craft of acting. And what the craft of acting allowed me to do initially was play a lot of weird guys. So I was like, that's my thing.
So, but is there like a reason? Are you a weird guy?
No.
At some point are you like, wait a minute?
The funny thing is, it's just, I'm as simple and shy. That's me in general. But I think the weirdness came. I was actually telling someone this story recently. So I lived with Charlie Day.
That's where the weirdness came from. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So we were living together
Multiple
in New
times,
York
yes?
City. Yeah, and we lived together in New York after theater camp. And then we couldn't get hired for anything. We both had like little agents, but nothing was happening. So we'd make videos for each other. We'd make these weird sketches. It was pre-YouTube, so we didn't show anyone but our friends and ourselves, and we'd watch them repeatedly because we got to act. and it was in-camera editing. Nobody had a computer. We were too broke for computers, so I'd hold the camera. Okay, say a line, and he'd follow up with, now you say a line, and that was the story. And I really quickly realized, okay, I'm never going to be as funny as Charlie Day is with this kind of hyper-explosive sense of comedy where he nails everything and it's huge and so it just makes you cry laughing. And so watching these videos of myself, I was like, what do I do? I'm not that funny guy.
Well, don't sell yourself short, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Just being honest. And then I started seeing, okay, well, what if I play kind of the subtler, more off-putting. My comedy will be in my stare.
Off-putting is a great word for it. That stare is weird.
Yeah, man, right? And so we started seeing that worked. And obviously, he is one of the creators of Sunny. And he's like, I think I want to get you to do one of your weird characters for the show. And I'm like, bring it. And it just became something I was pretty comfortable with. So I don't take offense to the fact, because truly it's so not me that it's performance. So when someone says, yo, McPoyle, I'm like, I nailed that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like I've convinced you that is me by doing such a great performance.
Exactly. I wish they didn't recognize me so quickly and across streets. Like, McPoyle, I'm wearing a suit. I don't have a fake unibrow on.
I'm not drinking milk. I'm not,
exactly.
Has there been any shift with Westworld? Because I feel like Westworld was a big one that's like, oh wow, this guy is not just a one weird character. He's got a whole range of tricks. And because Westworld, I'm too stupid for Westworld. I mean, you talk about the difficulty of acting comedy. The difficulty of acting in Westworld must be that is some deep shit. Has it shifted at all where people are recognizing you from that more?
Yeah, it shifted not only how people see my potential, but it was how I saw myself. I truly thought my career would be the small spice to the stew that would show up in small moments. And when Joan and Lisa asked me to join the club for Westworld, I had never done anything like that. And so it became a new style of acting I'd never done. And that was my acting school.
Was that like a huge relief to kind of get that script to be like, oh shit, now I have a chance to kind of break out of this role?
Not even close. No, it was terrifying.
It was more scary.
Honestly, I was so out of touch. I thought that Westworld was going to be like a send-up, like Starsky and Hutch, because of I thought it was going to be a lighter version of a '70s kind of goofy sci-fi.
Oh, brother, there ain't nothing light about it.
And then I came in for my first rehearsal, and I saw, and Joan and Nolan showed me the pilot. I was floored. I was like, how am I supposed to follow that?
Yeah.
Because I show up in episode 2. I was like, what are you going to do with me?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it's this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so it wasn't like, oh, yeah, give me my chance. It was like, oh, my God, I'm expected to pull this off. Okay, how do I do it? And so I prepared my ass off for that. And I really sunk into the role, which is something that's part of my nature, which is why I think I found this craft. But you really just fall for it. Fall for the writing and believe the writing, and then make it truthful.
Pull it off is an understatement.
No, thanks, man.
I used to love doing. I think we used to do a Westworld recap show, maybe.
Until I was too stupid.
And I would almost like you in the role. I would study so hard the night before that, and I would come in and just pretend he's the biggest idiot in the world. Like, you didn't get it?
That's all.
He's like, I knew that was what was going on. I knew the timelines were happening.
Exactly.
I was like, you did? I was like,
just
shit.
all night up on Reddit. Like, all right, I got writing all these notes. Like, you didn't get it? What are you, an idiot? It's so obvious.
You son of a bitch.
That's the first time I told you that.
Yeah, that is. I'm like, shit, I didn't know.
Outed.
But it's all led now to Perpetual Grace Limited, which I'm going to go get Epix to watch this.
Yeah.
And I'm happy you're here doing this because, to be 100% truthful, I didn't know about it. And it's already on episode 7, and I think it's a crime because even just watching the quick trailer, this looks fucking awesome.
It's so fucking
It looks
awesome,
so,
man.
it's kind of giving some Breaking Bad type vibes. It's it looks cool. It feels ominous. It's got you. It's got Ben Kingsley, Luis Guzman.
Louis Guzman, Damon Harriman. Like, just
It is a bomb squad cast and a very dark type of plot. So I mean, I kind of quickly, if you watch this 3-minute trailer, you kind of get a feel for it. But if you could just give a quick synopsis from your point of view of exactly what's going on.
Yeah, well, it's about a drifter played by me, and he's kind of been floating down the lazy river of life, failing himself on most levels.
I know the game.
Yeah, we all do. That's the thing. That's why I loved the role so much, because I saw myself in so many elements of this character, and I knew that this was a solid mirror of a lot of us, like just getting by and sometimes thriving, but not shooting to be great. And so this guy has been getting by, and he makes a shitty decision, like we all do sometimes. We make the wrong choice, and it makes our already not special life fall apart. And so it's the story of a drifter who makes one final bad decision before realizing he has to make all great decisions from now on. And it's a noir, you know.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What's it mean? We have actors come in here all the
always
time,
like, oh,
and they
noir,
always
noir,
drop a
noir.
noir on us, and I sit here and I go, "Oh yeah."
Like I've
artsy.
heard it. I know what type of show we're
Yes,
talking about.
You know,
It's
the
gonna
film
look a
grain,
little funny, and
you know there might
feel
be
funny,
a
but
PI involved, and
Yeah.
a lady in red or some shit.
Noir, yeah. It's mostly like shadows, something like that.
Well, luckily I have one of the most thoughtful and kind of observant creators, Stephen Conrad, who clearly states, because he does so much research. Oh my God, when he loves something, wants to write about it, he finds out everything that's ever been done, and he backs up what he's about to write. And he found Roger Ebert defined noir as a story about a group of people clever enough to hatch the perfect plan, but too stupid to pull it off.
Oh, I was way off on what I thought noir was, but it sounds awesome. Cool, very cool.
Yeah, man.
You talked about sinking into your Westworld role. Did you sink into this one by trying methadone?
The very first thing in the trailer explains you're going to try to pull off this like $4 million heist, but in order to do it, you got to actually get hooked on methadone because
Yeah.
faking it is not going to cut it.
Exactly.
The only way you're going to get embedded into this like church, let's call it, of some
Yes,
sort,
yes.
is to get hooked on methadone. So yeah, was there any method acting?
Well,
or
luckily
the
I'm not
methadone?
method. You guys.
not
So
cool
I
enough?
didn't have to. No, not at all. Only cool actors are method.
Oh, I'm not talking about method. I'm talking about trying methadone.
I tried doing 7 bong hits in a row to see if that could simulate or simulate. No, I was just baked for 4 hours.
Was that actually like a thought? Like, let me just get super stoned and maybe that'll kind of.
For when I was preparing for the bits where he is so fucked up
Yeah.
from being pulled out and having to get addicted to this drug that he's then gonna have to get off of. There's because you don't get much time to rehearse on a television show. Like, I love theater because you spend 2 months with these people and you craft this story, and it's different every night, but all of the motivations are clear. Everything is very clear by the time you open up the show. Whereas with television, often you get to run through it once or twice, and then you just, whatever you've prepared, that's what you have. And so I like to fill up my experience before shooting that scene. I was just asked about a heart attack I played, and they're like, how did you do that so real? Well, I did a crazy amount of research before we shot it. We didn't have time to say, okay, Jimmy, how are you gonna articulate? No, I just did what I had prepared for. So I got real stoned and tried
The logic makes sense.
different ways.
Yeah, I get it. I follow.
of
I'm picking
trying
up what
to
you're putting
make
down.
it- Yeah, trying to make those moments that I'll have to perform on film a little bit more clear. I don't, but that was it.
Yeah,
That was the
that's where you
limit.
drew the line.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems it's got a look of a darkness to it, and
Yeah, there's
Ben
like a
Kingsley's
Coen
just fucking
brothers.
scary.
Oh, he's just he's brilliant. I think it's some of the best work he's done, and there's not
Better
a
than
thing to
Selfless
think of
with Ryan
that's-
Reynolds? Come on.
let's not
Good
get
call.
crazy.
Come on.
Let's not get crazy.
I shut my mouth.
Yeah.
But he's beyond the top of his game. And then that look that you're talking about, that filmic thing,
Where does it take place?
it takes place in New Mexico.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Yeah.
in the Southwest fight.
And we actually shot it in Santa Fe
Yeah.
because it's just the creator, Stephen Conrad, just was so struck by how that oppressive yet beautiful environment will be the main character in the show.
That's what I love. Taylor Sheridan does that too,
Yeah.
where the environment is the
Becomes
character.
part of the character,
That's
yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
you're
That's
going
so
to,
cool.
yeah. And it's been hard to find. I've had a lot of people tell me, well, how do I get to see your show? And unfortunately, you gotta either have an app. I heard there's like an Amazon Prime connection.
Okay.
I just heard that today, so I
all right,
can't
let's
give you
explore
facts.
that. Yeah,
but
yeah,
there's
yeah.
that too, and then the app that you can add on.
I mean, the good
iTunes.
thing is that
Or your,
the world has been for a little while now shifting away from like it's got to be on this channel, that channel, or this channel. You know, like everybody's all sorts of different networks are picking up pretty cool shows. Epix has a handful of others that are worth taking a look. So like it's it's not, completely outside the realm of finding it. But I mean, it seems worth it. I watched 3 minutes and I was like, I'm gonna go get Epix.
Oh, it's stunning. I'm so proud to be a part of it. It's one of
Was
those
Ben Kingsley intimidating at all?
What was it like working with a sir?
Yes,
Well,
sir, Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him kind of a wide berth at first because I wasn't sure what Sir is like, and I like to give everybody what they need, and he surprised me by being so goddamn warm, and I mean, talk about preparation. He made me feel like I just wing it.
Yeah,
That man,
was hard.
he gets to work an hour early to meditate and to be clear so he can do his best work. He's off book weeks before. He's just a consummate professional.
Do you meditate?
No,
he hits the bong. He's fine.
yeah. I musically meditate. I put a playlist in that's calming.
That's at the top of your playlist, or a must-have on your playlist to calm you down.
For calming down
Yeah.
would be like space, like Beach House.
Okay.
Or
I could use that.
Oh gosh,
Send me your
so
playlist,
great.
please.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I
You got
need it.
Do you have any other actors or anyone else who sticks out, who was intimidating, who kind of made you feel like Sir Ben Kingsley did going on to set, where you were like a little bit, I don't know what this is going to be like?
Do you mean on Perpetual Grace?
Not Perpetual,
in general.
or Perpetual Grace or any other show
Well, I mean,
or movie.
I had another Sir in Westworld. Anthony Hopkins.
I forgot he's a sir.
Yeah.
He doesn't own it like Kingsley does. he kind of just
doesn't own
Like when you say Ben Kingsley, you say Sir Ben Kingsley.
it's Sir
You don't
Ben
necessarily
Kingsley, Anthony
lean
Hopkins.
toward- Yeah.
That's true. It's
Boy,
a
look at you
subtler-
though, just checking off sirs.
It's a
man.
subtler Sir. Well, yeah,
Gotta
I'm
get Elton
flanked-
John in the mix
flanked by
next.
sirs.
Or
But yeah, again, what I find, people sometimes actors get a bad rap, and they some of them should, some of them are dicks, but the ones that are continuously brilliant tend to be here and present and alive and thinking and ready for communication, ready for relationships. Like that's what I found. Is like the harder they work, the more kind of indicator that is that they're good folks, because they take it seriously. It's a responsibility, not just to the to the producers and stuff who are paying you, but just to the people receiving the story. Like it's your job to make it special for them, and people who really care about that element of it are always pretty cool.
I have a question that it kind of goes back to earlier when you were living with Charlie, and this is almost more professional advice than it even is something to talk about.
Drop it.
How do you watch yourself? We've been trying to do that ourselves. You talk about how you would edit it and you just
or
watch your
listening to
videos
myself,
over. How can you do that? Especially at an age where you probably didn't have too much talent at that point. Right?
Yeah,
You were working towards it, but
So little.
How tough is it to
Still
just sit
working.
there and like you cringe watching it, or
my
you
skin
sit-
crawls. It makes me want to turn it off. It makes me think I'm doing a bad job. I get down on myself. It's almost worse. It makes me worse, I feel like, but I know that it's something I should do.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for you, you're playing yourself.
Yeah.
And so, like I tell, like when I meet a musician, I'm like, I don't know how you do it, because sure, that persona on stage, that's maybe not exactly you, but what you're conveying is that idea is you. And so you're selling, this is me, and then you're making it believable. How the fuck do you pull that off? Whereas I have this veil in front of me of, no, this isn't me. And so that's why I just feel a little bit freer. And when I'm watching the work, I think an actor needs to watch their work. Because, like in your case, you want to know what works. You want to know what doesn't. And it kind of sucks, the process of figuring out that doesn't really work. But once you get past that, you're actually just making yourself better.
Yeah.
1,000%. And
don't
for an
believe
actor...
you. I don't believe you. Don't believe it.
You're wrong. We're not going to watch.
Yeah.
All right,
It's not the answer we
Jimmi
wanted to
Simpson.
hear.
So it's not... I don't
Spell your
have the,
name
like...
right. I'm gonna take
Yeah,
this.
that's the other thing. Do you think that you would be, just even further if you didn't spell your name like a dummy?
Yeah, I know.
What's that about? Never seen a Jimmy with an I.
You don't like the gay porn star stuff? Gosh darn it. I got to tell my grandma, because I pulled it from her. I actually signed up for Equity, the theater union, and I went by Jim Simpson. Generally, until I was 20-something. All my friends called me Jimmy, but officially I would write Jim Simpson. And Jim Simpson was taken by Sigourney Weaver's husband, who's the director, The Flea.
Son
and
of
so
a
I had to adjust. and I went with my grandmother's spelling of the name, but that's that.
So now
it's
we're
not like
assholes.
this would be cool.
Yeah.
I think it works.
I,
think it's
actually do
very
think it's.
cool.
I'm just. It,
It
must be
adds
both. It
an
kind of.
edge to it.
It separates.
Yeah, it's
there must be something to it. There must be a
separates me
story.
from the other Jimmys.
Yeah.
But I also love that you're a Mary Lightly fan from Psych.
I am. I mean, Psych 2 is
That's coming.
in production, but it's coming, right?
No, it's I
it's
think
done.
it's all done. It just hasn't aired yet.
Okay, and I hear it's the weirdest Mary Lightly we've ever seen.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. It's pretty fucking weird. And James Roday is going to love that I'm on your show because he's one of my best friends.
Really?
Sean Spencer, of course.
I didn't know that. He was probably one of the first. He kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen this show, New Girl, but he kind of reminds me of like the first Nick Miller. Where it's kind of Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of this like fast talking but a little strange.
Awkward, yeah.
I fell in love with Psych episode 1. I think I used to binge that just nonstop in college.
Well, a lot of that. Steve, the creator, he's responsible for so much, but James is really responsible for a lot too. He came in with these ideas, these big ideas for it at the audition, and Steve instantly put him in the casting room, and James has been writing and directing episodes since the show started. And a lot of those references, the 80s references, the throwbacks, those are a lot of James's ideas. He's obsessed with things 80s.
Really?
And he would always try to get like...
he was on that before Stranger Things.
What?
He was on that
Oh
before
my
Stranger
God!
Things.
So
He stole
before.
it all from him.
He was trying to pull every Brat Pack into Psych, and I think he pulled it off. But I go down in his history as the least sports knowledable man
Guy.
alive. I know of Phil Sims,
Okay.
and that's my
it?
reference.
That's a weird one to have.
It's not even a reference,
What do
you
you
just
know
say
about
the name.
It's
Simpsons?
a sweet spot because when I was like 15 or 14, all the kids were talking about Phil Sims. I
Sims,
grew up in Jersey,
Got it,
and he
won,
actually
right.
came to my town, Hackettstown, because there was like this division between what we call it the New York Giants or the New Jersey Giants, because the
they
stadium's
played
in
in the
Jersey.
stadium. Yeah.
And so he came to Hackettstown and had T-shirts that said New York Giants cross out, New Jersey Giants cross out, Hackettstown Giants. And so that's why Phil Sims rests with me.
It's not a
Yeah.
bad one. Phil Sims is a good one to throw. Actually,
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I
also
mean,
remember
if you're
watching
around
The
here-
Fridge.
What's
The
that?
Fridge.
The Fridge.
Yeah.
Good
that's a
Coke
one.
commercial.
Yeah.
I think Phil Sims got fired recently, so you're gonna.
Did he?
Yeah, Phil Sims doesn't do CBS anymore. Tony Romo took his job.
Oh, right. Well, it's
Romo
better.
took
It's
the job?
better to.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
better.
good.
There's, you can have that name too.
Thanks.
Tony Romo. It's a better lifestyle. I hate being
man.
a sports fan. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh,
I'm trying
my
to
God.
quit. Trying to quit.
Well,
It's like my drug. It's like methadone. I'm trying to quit.
You and James need to collaborate and just figure out a quitting system together.
Yeah, please.
We would take trips to Las Vegas, the most innocent trips ever, because he just wants, neither of us like to like really gamble or like to go to like clubs or anything.
That's what I was actually talking about this recently. I've done one Vegas trip my entire life. I hated every second.
He goes solely to bet on fantasy football, or to do.
What do you
things.
do there?
I go and we have a nice meal together.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the other
I
way to
go
do it,
and
is kinda
watch him do
relax
that,
and eat,
and then
and
we're
yeah.
just kind of hanging out, and then we have a nice meal as gentlemen.
Yeah.
And then we go to bed by like 11. We're so lame, but I get so much joy at how much joy it just runs. It runs through his.
Yeah,
his
it's
blood.
not
You
joy
get
for me,
From
it's-
it,
it's-
I find it exceptionally annoying when I'm hanging out with because I don't gamble. I like sports, but I don't gamble. And I have a roommate who is a hardcore gambler. Many
Everyone
people
here
here
is-
lots of gambling, and I find it so frustrating because it's the first half, right? And they're
Yeah.
like losing their minds about an incomplete pass, and it's like, guys, you gotta stop.
You
yelling
gotta
at
tone
me.
it down.
I cannot deal with you right
It's
now.
a sickness.
There's
It is.
2 hours
Sports
left in this
fandom
game.
in general.
Shut up.
Well, my wife Sophia, she's a huge tennis fan, and she's right here in this room, and we all just waved at her. So the Wimbledon is on, and I'm
I like
pretty
how you
into
call it
that.
the
Wimbledon.
I call it the
And
tennis.
she just covered her face like, oh, God damn it.
She's shielding her eyes at the
the
truth that is
Wimbledon.
me. She does that often. And I
I
don't blame
was
her.
saying that very recently when the Wimbledon was on. I was like, I'm watching the tennis. And people are like,
That's not how we do
not
it.
how you say it, man. Sophia, do you think tennis is too long? Because I think there's a length problem.
I love it when it goes on.
You love it that long?
When it moves to the next day.
Oh, when it's like
on. She likes
suspended
it.
too
You're
long,
an
as
Isaac
long as
man.
possible.
the weight.
How about that? I just dropped an Eisner. That's my Phil Sims right
It's
there.
you, babe. That's our one tennis reference. I would be remiss if we didn't wrap up here just mentioning a little more of Always Sunny because we are diehard, super weird
Charlie
Sunny
Day
fans.
went to my high school. That's
As
like
am
my claim
I.
to fame.
Oh, really?
Yep. Portsmouth
Up
Abbey.
in
Shout out.
Rhode Island.
Yep.
Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
we've had Glenn in, we've had Danny in, you're in. We're just trying to pick you guys off one by one. So put in a good word for us.
Danny-
Oh my God.
Danny
Done.
told the story when he was on about which he actually it's a funny story. Danny was promoting Dumbo, which so
Disney.
he had a bunch of the Disney reps here with him and stuff like that.
To
And
make sure he doesn't say the wrong thing.
well,
And he said the wrong
He
thing.
said the wrong thing for 10 minutes.
the
straight.
wrongest thing.
And so he was telling the story of the one script he ever turned down, which I guess Rob and Charlie had written as an April Fool's Day joke, where he is repeatedly raped inside of a prison by white supremacists. and
10 minutes of him and in his in the Danny ways, and then the cops are raping me, and then the rapists are raping the rapists, and he must have said the R word 1,000 times, and Disney was just like, oh, we're here to talk about a flying elephant. What's going on?
We had our booker she was texting us you gotta get him to move on.
I was like, I am not telling Danny DeVito to stop this story. We'll deal with it in post because I'm letting the man do his thing.
He's so good for the audience when he's unfettered.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine the producerial experience, but just
A catastrophe.
he kills interviews in the best possible way.
Yeah, yeah.
He just
He's-
makes us all so happy.
Glenn was telling he'll come up to people on set sometimes and he'll just be like, "Yeah, suck my dick." He's like, "Are you Frank right now, or are you Danny? Which
Nobody
are you
knows
doing?"
which is the best place to be, right? When you never know who someone is, or if
Yeah.
they're joking or real. But I mean, at this point, are you just if they want to do season 1,000, are you just down for the ride?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I just had dinner with Chaz recently, and I was just like, you let me know. Because my schedule's been a little crazy, and their shooting schedule isn't that long, so it hasn't come together in the past few years. But they're definitely going to be around next year.
Forever.
Yeah, there's
I
like
hope
14 right
forever.
now.
Wait, how long are they gonna be around for? Just next year?
Forever. Yeah. No, but definitely. I mean, I think the longest running comedy of all time is something like Ozzie and Harriet or something, and it was 14 years.
Oh, really?
They're taping their 14th season currently.
Yeah. Rob was
Might-
posting pictures last
Might
night.
as well break the record, right?
you know
Yeah,
what I
if
mean?
you're already here,
Yeah.
Rob was posting pictures last night. It seems like it's a very old timey themed episode. They look like they have a
boy.
1920s type vibe to it. With
I
They're
love
gonna
when they
trash
get weird,
the
man.
20s. Yes,
I love
yes.
it. It's just
They can trash any time zone.
it's such an incredible show. It's
truly,
really,
truly.
really
It
great.
unites so many people. It's gotten me so many glasses of milk in dive bars. Truly.
Is that a good thing?
No. but it warms the cockles.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to
When-
drink the milk.
When,
but
when you do show up on set for something like that, is it just you put your robe on and you grab your milk and you're just all right, let's do this. Let's get into McBoyle mode and start screaming and doing weird things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the scream is just Scream
God.
is excellent.
Have you
Yeah,
seen
thank
the
you.
video
Thank
where
you.
you get with William and Liam, kind of where it gets
where they
it's
compare
cut out?
the scream.
Yeah, you will not touch her.
I absolutely have. And the only thing I'll say is I commit to the moment no matter what the stakes. So whether it's the end of civilization or my sister's love life, I'm going to scream like I mean it. And so, yeah.
Scream you do.
I saw on YouTube someone had made the Jimmi Simpson screaming compilation. So it's not just those two, but they take all of my screams and they put them together. And it's a killer acting reel.
I was gonna say,
if I didn't
is that
have one,
your one thing? If someone you're in a beauty pageant, what's your talent? Just scream.
Yeah.
A professional scream.
I would scream so poorly, but I would still win because I would answer in complete sentences. No, it's a great institution, beauty pageants. No, those are things that should go on forever because it makes
So much
sense.
merit and so much-
yeah,
yeah.
It really,
Really makes perfect
shows
sense.
us who the good people are in worlds. Come on, God damn it,
All right, so Perpetual Grace Limited is out on Epix.
it sure is.
Go watch it. Go get it. Subscribe to it and I guess maybe we'll try to find it on Amazon Prime. We'll figure that
Yeah,
out for you. We'll
yeah.
tell the people exactly how to do it because it seems
You guys are so
awesome.
helpful.
It's noir. It's awesome. Go watch it.
Kevin and John.
Jimmy Simpson, thank you,
Come
brother.
on.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.